The following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Georgetown Media in Ely, Nevada. Ely City Council meeting, August 8th, 2019.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Oh, Father, as we come before you right now, at the beginning of this Ely City Council session, Father, we do want to take time to pray for our nation at this time, as it is so broken and is hurting right now. Father, we pray for healing. With the tragedies that have happened, that continues to occur, Father, we pray that our leaders will come together and begin to govern for the good of the people, the good of the nation, instead of playing politics. Father, we do want to take time to also pray for this meeting today right here. I thank you for these public servants that places themselves as a target for criticism for whatever decisions they may make. I pray that you will grant them wisdom beyond their means, and that the decisions they will make will be made with fairness, but that you grant them wisdom beyond their ability, Father. I pray that all fairness will be done, and it will be done with all prudence. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Bob.
Mayor Robertson.
Present.
Councilman Blanchard. Councilman Carson.
Here.
Councilman Reese is absent. Councilman Oliver.
Here.
Councilman Hanson. City Treasurer Trask. Here. Public Works Supervisor Craycraft. City Engineer Oliver.
Here. I'm here.
Sorry. That's all, Mayor.
Okay. With that, we'll move on to public comment. Any public comment?
My name is Dale Rubich, President of Ely. I would like to address the council on item 8.5, the consulting services agreement with Basin Engineering. I'm in support of renewing the contract with Basin Engineering. Continuity in the city's engineering department is essential considering the upcoming state highway projects. It would be a waste of city's resources to have to redo the engineering again. It may also delay the project. Thank you.
Thank you, Dale. Any other public comment? Evening, George.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mayor, you need to consider public comment on agenda items. One cannot state their concerns on agenda item in 3 minutes allotted. Mr. Mayor, on your agenda item 7.1 and 2, you need to consider a license for cats and with that dogs. Whether or not you can put a collar on them, you can chip them instead. You're discriminating against dog owners. They're paying for everything in regards to animal control, and that's unfair. Mr. Mayor, on your agenda item 8.1, you're to consider you're to approve possible approval of Will Serve for the charter school. Nothing was presented at the utility board meeting earlier today that authorized Linda Jervis to speak on their behalf. I want to remind the council I was not allowed to represent my brother on an issue because I supposedly did not have written authorization, when in fact I did have written authorization going back to 2010, and the city refused to let me proceed. Ms. Durbridge stated she applied because the land was still in her family trust. If it is, then you're facing an open meeting law violation because the request is not clear and precise as to who is requesting the will serve and who is going to pay. You can't have it both ways. Mr. Mayor, I have not seen any action in regards to Airbnbs that are conducting commercial business in the residential zone. They have not applied for a state license, city or county license, state room tax license, county room tax license, They have not applied for home occupation, a zone change, a variance, or an appeal. They don't pay commercial landfill rates. Your building inspector and former attorney should have been on this months ago. They're probably too busy looking for ways to stifle me and my family as well as other ethnic people. You need to stop the discrimination, Mayor. You should have been on this by now. Mr. Mayor, I'm looking at what the former city attorney received in compensation from the city. He bent you people over. What a rip. Since when did you start paying group insurance to the tune of $20,000? You won't do that for your other employees. Mr. Mayor, on your agenda item 8.6, you're to consider recommending consulting services between the City of Indian Basin Engineering. You should consider going out for proposals to see if you can cut costs. Mr. Flaherty should have abstained from any recommendation earlier since he has a conflict with encroaching on city right-of-way and has yet to be addressed. Mr. Chairman, or Mayor, on your agenda item 8.5, you're to discuss water rates per gallon for the White Pine County Golf Course. I was under the impression they were on a meter paying established rates. If they are not, they need to be billed as others are and pay the same rates. If they haven't been paying meter rates, you need to study their average use and back bill them for those years they were not paying, and that includes penalties.
Thank you, George.
That's it?
That's it.
Mayor, I've not gotten any answers. I'll be back.
Okay. Any other further public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 3, Mayor discussion for possible action, approval of agenda, including removal of agenda items. With that, I would like to temporarily remove item E5 until we have a new attorney and has time to review this, and we'll review that at our next agenda meeting. With that, I will entertain a motion on this item.
Mayor, I think Ernie wanted to have this read tonight, but Ernie, are you content until we get a new attorney settled in? My understanding is this was actually written by the previous attorney, but.
I would like to remove item E5 regarding the ordinance reading until our new attorney has time to look at that. We can have it on the next agenda.
Well, if that's what your request is, I'll wait until the next agenda, yes.
Being that's copacetic with Councilman Flangus, I would then move that we approve the agenda as presented minus B5, which we'll put out next week, our next meeting.
I'll second. Any other discussion on this item? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll move on to item 4, City Department reports. Fire Chief. Rob?
You have my report. We were, as you can see, we was busy in July. May and June, we was average around 80 calls a month. July, including July 31st, which is not part of this report, we did 142 calls. So
Are we anticipating any more new hire interviews?
we haven't set them up yet. We've looked at a lot of applicants. We're diligently looking at searching.
And in terms of offers tendered for employment,
We do have, one will start this coming month.
which one was that?
Jared Stahl.
Jared Stahl, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Are you not
Stop.
finding what you're looking for in the applications, or?
Yes, looking for a little more experience. Some of the applicants don't have any experience or any of the credentials that we ask for in the job descriptions. So, they just, they turn away right away. So.
Any other questions for the Fire Chief?
And I did do a cover letter to answer Jim's question last time so on the roads. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Rob. Police Chief?
Oh, excuse me, there's one.
Oh, sure.
Thanks. I am chairman of the White Pine County Epilepsy Committee, and now that Sam is liaison to the fire department. Is this the mayor's wishes to have him?
Chairman of the what committee?
I'm, not chairman, liaison to the fire department.
But you said you're the chairman of the
I'm
what?
the chairman, oh, excuse me, local emergency planning commission,
Local.
for White Pine County.
Which I'm sitting on now.
She said, Kurt was sitting on that, would you, is that what you want to appoint Sam to? And have Kurt moved, or keep Kurt there? That was the question.
Doesn't matter to me what that.
You're already the liaison, that would probably make sense to everyone.
Sure.
Yeah. Give any feedback.
But then I will have to have Sam apply for that position with the county commission and be approved and have your oath there.
Let's put it on next agenda, for the county as well.
We'll talk about that though.
Okay.
Fine with me, so.
Also, as chair, I ain't sure what's gonna happen, but in I think 19th and 20th, there's some training in Carson City related to White Pine County Epilepsy. The lack of a White Pine County Epilepsy manager, need be chairman. I ain't sure who the county's gonna have go over this meeting. So, I don't know how to go about approval for the city in case I'm asked to do this. I ain't sure on the procedure for me to do that. Getting your permission.
Okay.
Does that just go through you, Mayor?
Yeah, I think we'll talk, if Jennifer, if we make a note of that, we can discuss how that needs to work.
Yeah, I probably need to discuss that with the county clerk, just since it's a county committee.
Wait, I already have an email to the county, it's like,
Okay.
okay, who do you want stuff to go? So that's the first question needs to be answered.
Jennifer, we can do that. Okay,
All right?
thank you. There's no police chief, municipal court judge? Mike, do you have anything?
We'll have the report, or I'll have the report the usual effective one.
Okay. City clerk?
We received some information from the city of Henderson on their Airbnb ordinance and hospital hours. That they had passed these things. So I'll be getting that to the appropriate people. And we've been working on grant reimbursement. We received official word yesterday that NDOW has processed our $177,000 outlay for payment. That's all been approved. So that's phase one of the Hunter Education Building, and processing coming more.
Any questions of the clerk? Thank you, Jennifer. City Public Works Supervisor.
Nothing more to add, unless you have a question.
Anybody have any questions for Mike? Okay, thank you, Mike. City Water Operator, you have his report. City Engineer? Deputy.
You guys have a report there from me. But one of the things I want to go over, it's been a busy week this week with NDOT in town. Had quite a few meetings for the last several days going over this stuff. One of the things I wanted to actually bring it up and bring to everybody's attention here is one of the things that was discussed and brought up to us yesterday in a meeting was our existing utilities. We're replacing water line down the road. NDOT's wanting us to remove the old water line. They're not wanting us to basically leave it in place. And so some of the discussions they were bringing up, some of our options are we can either have a contractor remove it, which is something that obviously in our existing system we haven't necessarily done that. So, you know,
We did that on Murray Street, though, didn't we?
we only did that because the abandoned line had to come out because of the location of the new sewer line. So it wasn't.
That kind of sounds expensive, huh?
It does sound expensive, yes. And so the other option that they come in and was talking about was coming in and doing actually issuing us a permit for an abandoned line in the road that we don't necessarily have to take it out today. But if NDOT comes through sometime in the future and that line is in the way, then we have to take it out at that point in time. It would only be for NDOT stuff. It wouldn't be if, say, a telecommunication company wanted to come in and put a fiber optic line or something down the road. They would have to deal with what's in the place. They would have it in the permit. They would know it's there. That company would deal with it. So it would only be something that NDOT would have to, if NDOT was putting something in their approvals, that we would have to deal with that stuff there. You know, they are looking at, they do want us to possibly, if we don't remove it, to fill it with some shotcrete or something else, so it's not just a void down in there. when the contractor was here talking, they had some stuff where it's not just a slurry, I think they're adding some other stuff to it, whatever, so they take basically a 10-yard slurry truck and adding additives and stuff to it that's making like a 4,000, not 4,000, I'm sorry, like a 400 PSI, so it's actually diggable in the future, but it's not void. And they can take that 10 yards and basically expand it into like 30 yards. So that obviously reduces the cost substantially from coming and doing this. So that's just, I want to bring it to your attention. That's something that just came up basically yesterday afternoon. And we're still working through and see what other options that we may have to do that. I wanted to bring that to your attention. So.
Any questions for the engineer? Thank you, BJ. City building official is not present. NMRY Foundation report, item 5.
Good afternoon, everyone. And everything is going quite well. We took a slight hit on our, well, we essentially carried the same number of passengers in July of this year as we did last year, and so we're tracking quite nicely. The biggest news from the railroad is that on July 3rd, we had a story in the LA Times on the Star Trains. And from the LA Times, that story went to Travel Plus Leisure, then it went to People.com, and it sold out all of the Star Trains, not only for 2019, but also for 2020. And then about a week ago, we got CBS This Morning called us and said we want to do a story on the Star Trains. And so they came out last Friday. The story appeared yesterday morning, and Great Basin National Park gave us additional Star Trains, and we added additional Star Trains. There's 13 Star Trains scheduled for 2020, and they're all sold out. And there's a couple of things that, and we've gone back to Great Basin National Park asking for more trains, because next Wednesday, NBC out of Las Vegas is doing a story on, guess what? The Star Trains. And we received, yesterday morning when I went in, all 5 of our phone lines were ringing constantly all day, or at least till noon. And when you hung up the line, another call just came in. Obviously, there's tremendous interest around the country in the dark skies. And we would be like adding additional trains. We now have people wanting to know if we can add trains for 2021. We're sort of holding off on that. But what I'd like to do is some additional research and work with the city about actually becoming a dark sky city. And I don't know what that entails. There is a small town in Utah outside of Capitol Reef that became a dark sky city. And you know, when you're trying to position yourself with something that no one else has, I think that would be really great for revitalizing our downtown, our community, and the whole bit, and it sends a message out to the general public that we're interested in preserving our dark skies. And we received a call from every state in the union to ride the dark sky trains. So it's really a thing, and it probably went, you know, it's something that's doable if we work all together on that. So it's just a thought. I'll do some more research and bring it back to the council and see how we could possibly do that. The other big news for last month is for the 11th time we won Nevada Magazine's Best Place to Take the Kids in Nevada. So we're really, yes, we're really pleased with that, and we really support that because we have kids ride free Monday through Thursday. We figure if the kids come, mom and dad come too. So we're very pleased with that. So that's about it. Just very, very busy, and just chugging along as it were. Does anyone have any questions?
No, but I do have one comment in regards to the dark skies. How you become a dark sky city is that your street lights face down and you have a light damper above them.
Okay.
So the light doesn't go up, it faces right down.
Right.
And those are the type of lighting fixtures I suggested to the state highway, our main street, and if we could be incorporated within our community. They're not that expensive, and I wish the state would take our recommendation on it, and if you want, you should try to support something.
Oh, absolutely. I think that, again, just, we receive phone calls from around the country, and they have general themes. You know, I can't remember the last time I saw the stars, and I want to bring my kids to see the stars. And it was a very powerful piece of marketing. So, yeah, and if you haven't seen the clip, we do have it on our Facebook page and also on our Star Trains page too. They did an excellent job. It was 4 minutes and 58 seconds worth of national exposure. Yes, they did an excellent job. All right, thank you all.
Thank you, Mark. With that, we'll move on to item 6, reports. City Council, Sam, you start.
I have nothing to report this time.
Jim?
Just a couple items. I met with the city road department, the county road department, projects throughout the street projects. Met with them on the Mill Street project, which is going to start, I think it's 26th to finish that up. I attended that presentation by the NDOT last night and still working on the CTX distribution versus property tax revenue comparison. Quite a complex formula, and I've been getting a lot of help from the Assessor Burton. He's been real helpful on this educating on this. We're still trucking forward on that.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Kurt?
No reports?
Bernie?
Yes, I'm continuing working with the state on the taxation, and the more I go, Jim knows well, he's been doing some of that same type of work. We are really facing a problem in trying to get our taxation that is due coming to the city. All different, other than the one that we have with the sheriff's department, interlocal agreement. All the others have expired, but the county has not tried to renew, and the city didn't renew it. So therefore, no changes have been made. And I think once that expired, that change should have ended that particular agreement, and any taxation to us came to the city. And that ended the last one we had in the local agreement, except for the sheriff's department, ended in July of 2016, I should say. And that's 3 years ago. And we can't backtrack and get anything from the county for those 3 years. We got to start negotiating, so we get due funds, our funds are due ones, starting at least in January 1st.
Okay, thank you, Bernie. I met with Michael, the manager of Cow Ranch this morning. He wanted to inform the council, or asked me to inform the council that their date for opening got pushed back. He doesn't have a specific one yet. They were planning on opening next week, but had some things to resolve as far as fire suppression and some other items. But they plan on having their grand opening before the end of the month, so they'll keep us apprised of that. I've been working with Brad, our building official, and some others at Tour and Rec regarding short-term rentals and the kind of regulations we want to put in around that. I think we're ready with most of the things we've gotten from Henderson and some other communities around the western United States, and trying to put a thing together using them as a template. And as soon as we've got a lawyer to kind of look that over, present it to the council for review. That's all I have to report at the moment. Item 7, items for discussion action. Items for discussion possible action of the Ely City Council as recommended by the Animal Control Advisory Board. Item 1, Chairwoman Roberts McMurray, discussion for possible action based on additional information from Maddie's Pet Project, the Humane Society approval to use a portion of Maddie's Pet Project adoption funds grant to vaccinate every dog and cat up to 2 years old entering the animal control facilities for parvovirus per city protocol. Okay.
Hi, my name is Kaylin McMurray, and I'm chairwoman of the Animal Control Advisory Board. Can you guys hear me? Just want to make sure. Okay. So at the last meeting, we talked about maybe having an isolation room built and stuff like that regarding the parvo issues we had. I reached out to Maddie's Pet Project. They said that those funds could not be used for an isolation room, and it's kind of industry standard that all animals that come into a shelter should be vaccinated by the shelter, and that a portion of this Maddie's Pet Project money should be used for that. So we did not have a quorum yesterday to have a meeting, but I'd like to see this approved, or request it be approved at tonight's meeting, because I don't want to wait any longer for these animals to get vaccinated. I think this is really important. And also, Maddie's Pet Project has kind of been a little treasure for us to get for the shelter. So I don't want to go outside their guidelines and not do something, and then next year then look at it and go, well, you guys didn't spend that money on what we asked for, because we want to be able to, accept it again.
Sure. Will all of this money that is going from Maddie's Pet go to the vaccination, and will the city be on the hook for anything is basically what I would like to know.
No, the city wouldn't be on the hook for anything. So they designated a portion of it, which was $25,000, right, for the TNR project,
10,000 for TNR,
Okay.
15 for other stuff.
for other stuff.
Increased line release.
So it won't cost the city anything.
No, and they said that they would even help us get lower priced vaccinations, because Andrew can actually administer those. We don't have to take them to the vet. Correct.
All but rabies, I
All
can
the
understand.
rates. So we're looking at a low cost, and we're looking at Andrew being able to administer it. I just think as much as we're doing right now with the shelter moving forward, I think this is just something in addition to moving forward.
Any other questions on that for Chairwoman McMurray?
That being the case, Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the use of a portion of Maddie's Pet Project Adoption Funds grant to vaccinate every dog and cat up to 2 years old entering the animal control facility for parvovirus per city council protocol.
Any second on that?
Also,
Any other discussion on this?
I just have a question.
Yeah.
How do you know they're up to 2 years old?
It's a good guesstimate,
Okay.
and even the best people that guess, it's still not accurate,
All right.
so.
Thank you.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, so it's now, okay, sorry, is the cost that we're gonna spend just on the vaccination and you're gonna do them as part of your job?
The cost is from the grant, and we're gonna use it until the grant runs out, and then I'm gonna vaccinate.
Yeah, no,
The
yeah.
grant
Okay,
gets
so
spent on
that's
the
what it is, we're
materials.
just gonna use it until it runs out,
Yes,
and then you'll
Right.
start. Who's paying for the
the
vaccination?
grant,
The
That is
grant. So that's what the money's being spent on, is just the supplies, right?
yes,
And then you'll administer it
yes.
under your job. Okay, that's what I was questioning.
Any other discussion on this item? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 2, Chairwoman Roberts McMurray, discussion for possible action, approval to hold the City of Ely Pet Costume event in connection with the Lions Club 2019 Pumpkin Chunkin' awards to be from private donations, including advertising the event with all proceeds to benefit the City of Ely Animal Control Facility.
We haven't heard back from the Lions Club yet, so if we could just table that, we just kind of have it as an ongoing agenda item until October. So we have at least another month.
I'll entertain a motion to table.
Move to table.
Do I have a second?
okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll move on to 8 items for discussion possible action of the Ely City Council as recommended by the Municipal Utilities Board. Item 1, board members, City Engineer Allenberg, discussion for possible action, approval of will serve application for Linda Durbridge, trustee of Durbridge Family Trust on behalf of the Learning Ridge Charter School at 1400 East 13th Street, Ely, Nevada. DJ, I do have a question on this. And I guess this goes back to where we had kind of the same situation where we had a property owner applying for a variance on behalf of someone who didn't own the property.